Everyone. I'm Grace Ann Bautista, and for today, I will be answering questions regarding on the contemporary world issues. And I have these two beautiful ladies in front of me. They will be asking questions, and I will answer based on my own perspective. So let us start.
Okay, so hello, Miss Bautista. So regarding our topic globalization, we have here 5 questions for you to answer. So first question here is, what is globalization to you in a personal sense, and how has it affected your current mindset, your life situations, and the like?
For my own viewpoint, and based on the lessons that I've learned, or the lessons that we have tackled, based from the lessons in the I learned, globalization is the exchange of essential things such as goods, services, capital, technologies, cultural practices, and even human beings all over the world for the benefit of most countries and people. Nothing in this world is perfect, so the same holds true for globalization. But it has its own downside too. And there are too many to mention, but I just want to share how globalization affected me. Before, I was one of those Filipinos who saw products abroad as high-cost products and built them to last longer compared to Philippine products. And some others have in mind that people will think of them as rich if they have products that come from abroad. I am thankful that my personal sense was changed, and now I have to support locals and love our own products because through this, it shows the love we have for our country and for those Filipinos who work hard for it. To end my answer to question number one, I just want to share what I like about globalization. It promotes and increases interactions between different populations around the globe, and we can do things like visit different open countries we love. As well, it increases interconnectedness and interdependence, not just between countries, but also between people.
That's a very good answer of the definition of globalization from your own perspective. And now, what do you think is the greatest challenge posited on regionalization and globalization in the Philippines, and how can this challenge be addressed accordingly?
First, on regionalization takes place when one place, I mean, when one region opens its doors to other regions. It might be about its services or products offered. One of the greatest challenges they face is its policy. One scenario is for SME or small and medium enterprises, which is not supported because it was intervened by a large investor who is the middleman for the said products or services. Another is the monopolistic approach or cartel, which primarily affects SME or small and medium enterprises in the local area. To put it in another way, a firm policy prohibiting actions taken by larger investor is required in order to provide more opportunities to small and medium class local investors in order to benefit one region. For globalization, the same challenge would happen, but from a wider perspective, where somehow we could say only those larger investors would benefit so much more than the small and medium ones. Another is that the products and services of foreign countries would dominate the market rather than our products, and it would affect the economic stability of our country.
Okay, so thank you so much for that insights. So the third question here was this way. What are the aspects that hinder Philippines from becoming a first world country and why?
For me, there are a lot of factors that hinder the progress of the Philippines in becoming a first world country. And I just want to share the two factors that I have identified. First on the list is corruption, and and then the poor entrepreneurial mindset and spirit of the Filipinos. So we'll go first to the corruption. So corruption makes the Philippines poorer and hinders the prosperity of our country. The sad reality in the Philippines is that the culture of corruption dominates all levels of government. The number one problem with corruption is that Filipinos keep on electing government officials who are corrupt without applying the lessons they have learned for that candidate as a good sayer but not a good doer. Our vote is essential to eliminating or decreasing the cases of corruption. So we have to vote wisely in this upcoming election. Uh, Due to the corruption, the Philippines doesn't attract a lot of foreign investment. Next is the entrepreneurial mindset and spirit that we don't possess, like in East Asian countries. East Asians' parents or Chinese Filipino parents encourage their children to get involved in business, no matter how small or big it is. As a result, most of the biggest businesses in the Philippines are owned by Chinese Filipinos of Chinese descent or East Asian people, compared to the Filipino parents that we have who teach their children to study for a degree and work for a company. You can see the big difference, right, between the mindset of business owners and employees.
Mhm. I really like that. I agree with the two factors that you have mentioned that hinder Philippines from becoming a first world country. And that is very true from based on what we're experiencing today. And my question to you now is, being a Filipino youth of today, what can you contribute so that the Philippines will have a chance to be in the clusters of the global north countries?
As a youth in a community, we have an impact for a change and for a better Philippines. I would encourage someone to become business minded, for this is perhaps the common reasons why other countries are booming. So to say it would always start with me being looked upon by someone. Another thing is to encourage them to buy local products instead of buying from abroad. Always adhere to a popular economist statement, tangkilikin ang sariling atin. And in this case, most probably, we are not far behind them when it comes to economic competitiveness.
Okay, so thank you for that. The last question here is, what do you think are the major problems faced by leaders in the global community in terms of global governance? And how these issues affect you on a personal level?
One of the major problems faced by different leaders in every country when it comes to global governance is their country's policy. One example is the conflict between international policy and national policy. The arbitral ruling of the West Philippine Sea is one of the specific examples. Since the Philippines is among the 193 countries of the UN flag, there would have an UNCLOS agreement. by the US as the head of the league. But somehow, the agreement was not recognized by the other members of the said league. So, as a leader of the country, it would be hard for you to decide where to follow or whether it would be better to be independent since your country's liberty has been taken aside, and this could have an impact on our individual ideologies and principles.
So thank you so much for that insights and answers, Ms. Bautista. We are truly enlightened by all of those answers.
Thank you to these beautiful ladies who asked me questions, and that would be all. And thank you for watching.